Hello, and glad to have you here. Today, we're going to talk about how does storytelling help you to be able to build influence in your business? How could storytelling possibly do something like that? Have you ever thought about that? When we think about storytelling, it's changed over the years. Overall, it's still storytelling, but it's, more people thinking about, you know, their lives and the things that they've gone through in their life. And some people are really, really good at telling a story that just grabs your attention and just keeps you, held there as you're learning and hearing what happened to them and becoming relatable to you because it's like they're talking about something that happened in your life, and it's just something that really truly can get a grip on people. And I think over time, that's been discovered. I mean, I can remember back in the library when, we would go into the library and they would, we'd have story time. And I used to really love that because it just kind of was, it was kind of a time of relaxation and enjoyment and entertainment and listening to the voice of the person who's telling the story. And some people would come in and tell us stories, some people would read us stories. It just, it just had a big impact on my life. And it's now something that's within the last few years that's been more on getting into social media and getting into, people's businesses and them actually telling stories that actually can influence and help people to find where they're going, or is this what they want to do, or depending on what stories you're telling them, because we all, as I'm looking at my notes here, we all have so many different stories in our lives. We have so many different journeys, and to be able to share that is really a special skill. It's a skill that I'm working on. It's a skill that I'm learning and growing in. And one day I hope to be a really, really awesome storyteller. But it does take time, it takes patience, and it takes not giving up. So before I get any more involved in this, let me introduce myself. My name is Cherie Woodard, and I help entrepreneurs and business builders to be able to come online, use social media to get prospects, leads, and sales in their business. And I do this in a variety of ways. I use attraction marketing, I use lead generation, I use video training, and other strategies and tips that are modern, updated, and trending. And we've got a lot of micro video stuff going out there now, but I digress. And then also, as you're hopping on, if you would let me know where you're coming in from, and if you have any questions or comments or opinions, they're welcome here. You can drop them in the chat. And if you say hello to me, I'll give you a shout out. If you drop me some information, your question, whatever, like I said, that is, I will answer you, and we'll go from there. Um, Let me make sure. Okay. And then the other thing I was going to say is that I have a gift for you that I would like to put the information on the video when it's downloaded, and you can check it out and take advantage of it. It's called the top two anti-salesy type posts that you can use to attract people to you. And the only people we want to attract are those people that are the people that are our people. the people that are the ones that we want to help. Like for me, I want to attract people like me. I want to attract those people out there that have gone through the stuff that I, went through when I was out doing nursing, and I was doing side gigs of doing network marketing. And I just got to where I couldn't take it anymore. And so I started looking for something else, especially after I became disabled in my nursing career. That was really hard. It was a hard fall, and but I've gotten back up, and I am doing something that I really love doing, which is being able to come on here and being able to help those people that I want to help, those people that are wanting to try something new and different and better, to help them to get where they want to get in their lives. And I just don't want to, after being down for a while, I just figured I don't want to stay down forever. I want to enjoy my life. I want to live the rest of it and really enjoy it and help others as well. And to be able to just, there's so many people out there that are in need, and I want to be a part of helping them to find their way, and then letting them go on off after that and keep going and keep moving. So I will have that information, like I said, about the top two anti-salesy posts on the video when it's downloaded, and you can check it out. So, and if there are any questions or anything, like I said, comments, whatever, I welcome them. I welcome your interaction, and it's always nice to have people say what's on their mind, and about the topic that we're talking about, especially. So I've got 3 tips here for you. And I mean, I've been doing this with the stories, and it's just gotten more to where stories are continuing to where, like, the platform that I'm on, Facebook has a story feature. There's Instagram that has story features. They a lot of the platforms now have stories. They want you to tell your stories. They want you to be able to use whatever features they have for you to help you to tell your stories, whether they're funny, whether they're sad, whether they're realistic, or you want to, I mean, sometimes if you're telling a funny story, it may just be something that, that you're like, that people like to hear this story. And so it may not be, you know, I'm not saying that that people are lying, but I'm just saying sometimes, as you're telling a story, you might embellish a little bit. And just to make, to get the laughter, to get people to be able to break down and, calm down and just enjoy it. And then there are the other stories that are, they elicit something different. They touch our hearts and they touch our minds, and they make us a different person because of that story. So when you're telling stories, well, I'm going to go on and start with my numbers here. I've got, and these are in no particular order, but I want to give you 3 tips. Number one, it's important to be who you are. It's important to tell your story. And I'm not saying that you have to tell your business, put it out in the street. It's okay if you want to share certain things, but I'm not saying that you have to, and that you have to push, stuff out there that you really don't feel comfortable sharing. For me, my boys don't really like to be a part of my stories, but they are a part so I don't try not to tell the teenage stuff, but I try to, and the older stuff, I try to tell the stuff of, when they were younger, and what things were like and that kind of thing, and other family stories and other stories about my life in general. Like I said, we all have several stories and several journeys. And as you're telling your story, it just might touch somebody. Make it relatable, make it something that people can actually say, yeah, that was me, back in the day, or yeah, that was me just the other day. It just depends. But as you're sharing your story, it's important to be authentic, to be who you are, to not try to put on airs like, trying to tell a story like somebody else unless you're really good at that. But for me, this is me. This is me telling, my story and communicating with those people that I want to help, those people that I want to, relieve some of their pains and struggles and help them to get solutions to those pains and struggles, and then to be able to move on out and take action with it. So for me, I know that I have several different stories, several different life stories. And there may be a time when I need to use, this story, or there may be a time when I want to tell that story. Or this story over here, or or if I'm going through something like, I've recently lost my brother, one of my brothers, and so to be able to tell that story when I'm, one day I was really low and I talked about him, and I felt that I could do that because I felt that my audience wouldn't mind that and that they could relate to that, because so many of us have lost so many people that we love and care about. So be you, whatever that is, whether you're telling, like I said, a funny, whether you're telling, love story, whether you're telling, and my story with my kids is definitely a love story. It's different, maybe a mate or whatever, but just be who you are. Number two, it's important to be able to be vulnerable, which is basically a part of what I was just saying. It's okay to, as you start to talk about, certain things, that it, so affects you that it then also affects your audience, your people that you're speaking to or you're following, depending on, what it is that you're trying to help with, or what you're trying to, um, yeah, what you're trying to help with and what you're trying to be open about. Um, I would rather be myself and be vulnerable than to lie and then, have that lie exposed. Because my mama used to say, whatever's in the dark is definitely going to always come to the light. And it may come to the light when you really don't want it to, because if you're telling stuff in secret or hiding things, they do come out. And so when I live my life, I try to remember that. And when I say something, I got to be able to say it more than once, because, that's just the way my mom taught me. It's important to if you say it once, you got to be able to say it twice, because what are you going to do? Run and hide? And how long is that going to last? You got to go to work, you got to go home, you got to, so I'd just rather be, honest and upfront. And there are certain things that I, may not want to talk about, but there are certain things that I don't mind being vulnerable with and honest about. And, like, I don't have to tell everyone, the date of birth of this person, or, just, I'm probably not explaining this really well, but there are just certain things that you may not want to tell, and that's okay. I just want to make sure you know that that's okay. But there are certain things that you don't mind telling, and it's okay if you get vulnerable. And a lot of times you can just ask your audience, do you mind, today I'm feeling a little bit like such and such, and I just like to want, if I'm, is it okay if I get a little vulnerable with you? Is it okay if I show that? Yeah, I've heard some of my mentors, ask that question, and I was always like, yeah, yeah, sure, go ahead, because I want to, be open and listen and hear and see if it's something that I can relate to, something that might help me, something that might help someone else. And then number three is being intentional when you're telling your story. Make sure that it's going somewhere. Make sure that it's like I was talking about, how telling stories can help you to build influence. And in telling stories, hopefully the things that I've said are showing you how, because you being who you are, showing that, being vulnerable, which a lot of people don't feel comfortable doing, that allows people to see you in a light where they're like, she seems to be pretty honest, or he seems to be pretty cool. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to say that, but now that I hear him say that, I feel like I can be honest about certain things of my life that I've been through that might actually help someone. So, and being intentional, you want to be able to have your story have meaning. You want to be able to, have it be something that's truly going to help someone, that's truly going to be able to lift someone or bring someone to where, they need to be. Help them to be able to see through a different pair of eyes, that kind of thing. So those are the three tips that I have. And I hope that I hope they were good for you. I hope that that was valuable for you. And I just storytelling is has taken off, and it's just flying. And I am trying to get on that train because I want to, and I have always wanted to be able to be a good storyteller from the days of old when I was sitting in grade school in the library or in our classroom listening to my teacher tell us a story or read us a story. So storytelling is continuing to grow, and it's something that's really helpful. It's relatable. It causes people to have, likability for you, or for them to find their tribe, and and say, oh yeah, I know exactly what she's talking about. And there are a lot of people out there that are going to relate to your story. And like I said, we all have, as we walk through this life, I've been on this earth 65 years, and I have a lot of stories to tell. And I just need to be able to tell them in a way that's truly going to help someone. So I'm sorry that I didn't keep my eye on the clock. Time has gone over, and I'm late today because I had uh, conference today, workshop, and tomorrow I have a workshop too. I'm going to try to go early. Couldn't do that today because just a whole bunch of stuff which I won't go into. But tomorrow I'm going to try to go early since I don't have anything else to block me. Let's make sure, hopefully. And my plan is to go early tomorrow, so you won't be waiting for me all day. And I have another meeting that I better get to. So basically, that is all. I will put the information on the video when it's downloaded. And I might, yeah, and I got to get to my meeting. So thank you so much, and glad you were here. And like I said, and if you can't if you're watching this on the replay, or if you're here but you can't stop and write down something, whatever, you can always put it in later. I will still answer you, and we'll go from there. So talk soon, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye now.